Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mansillon. I wanted to come and say hello. Wish you a good day. I hope you are enjoying those times. For it is we are going through so very it is not yet well, some people maybe in total joy and ecstasy, but we're really going through this process of transition between the old third dimensional matrix. So we're going to move towards the fourth dimension, but what we're focusing on is the total freedom and liberation that will await us once we liberate ourselves from all the old conditioning. And so what we need is to get rid of all those things that no longer serve us, that is no longer for our highest good. And understanding that we are much more powerful than what we can believe and know at this point. But for in a sense, we're always talking to ourselves. There is only one. So what we want is to commune with our higher self, our higher presence, our soul, our guides, our soul family, our oversoul, and our higher presence. For this I am presence is the spirit of God minus personality. It is a great minister, a divine being that is all-knowing, all-powerful, all-wise, and thus 99% of the people are not aware of that divine gift and presence. But for those who are aware, there is religious people that are able to commune and communicate with God through the heart, and so it all the spirit presence will not enforce its will upon us. It's only when we choose to align with the will of the Father, the will of God, that this presence start to expose certain plans that he has for us, and for me it is everything to me. It's like it means everything. There is nothing more important than to become one with my I am presence. And I am a chance. For the past 30 years I've been working in my spiritual ascension path, and now I'm able to communicate with my I am presence. Mostly it is able to communicate with me through telepathy. And but when it's not there, I feel like it's not there. It's like I feel so lonely. I feel disconnected. So I'm eager to the time when we'll be eternally one, eternally connected. And for it's like yesterday I was thinking, say, well, maybe I should talk about this, and I was questioning something. It's like, what is my I am presence doing when it's not communicating with me? For it feels so good. It's when when we communicate with this God presence within ourselves, it feels so great. There is no more question, there is no more doubts, there is no more fear, there is no more. It's pure joy, pure bliss, pure ecstasy. And although this presence is utterly beyond my consciousness right now, I can understand that it may be busy doing other things, but it is fully aware of all spirit presence within the universe. It is fully presence of all the interaction of the soul on the soul level. And so I am eager to find myself, for Spirit says I will be able to find myself, and once I find myself, my soul, everything will become clear. There will be nothing will be unclear. So now it's still, for now there's still this release of the old. And so when I've been running, but every time I run, I'm releasing toxin. I have all those dark thoughts that are invading my consciousness. So I'm breathing through that. So it is. So we do want we seek to bring back this powerful self, this soul that we are. The soul always resides on the upper plane. It's like and goes down to it's still on the fifth dimension. But the I am presence is fully present. It's like as soon as whenever I need it, now my I am present is sending me this direction, this paradise, this freedom, this abundance energy. Although sometimes the circumstances of my life, since they are not yet manifested, this freedom I trust that it will manifest anytime, at any point, at any time. But yet it's like sometimes I feel I have a truck running through me every day because of the limitation of the physical world. For all comes down to finance for me right now, but Spirit says that we'll be liberated soon. And so in this ascension process ascension is a process. We must clean and clear all the memories, all the closets, all the drawers that we have, those things, those past life. We have so many things that are beyond our conscious level, that comes to us on the energetic level, that maybe not enjoyable, but they're asking for deliverance, for healing. And so we want to realize that we are a crisp flame, we are a crisp light, we are the presence of love, we are the presence of life. For love is our true nature. we want to repeat to ourselves, I release myself from attachment, I release myself from the past with grace and ease, to invoke the violet flame, the violet fire. I accept forgiveness. For forgiveness is essential. We want to forgive ourselves from. Well, it was funny, yesterday I talked about this idea of the 99 monkeys. For those for my videos, it's the understanding that if one person can do it, everybody else can do it. And last night the Arcturian Council from the ninth dimension were mentioning that, so it was funny. I think I'm very well connected to the Arcturians, so I know that whenever I speak about something in my videos, they kind of always they don't talk about they kind of like they acknowledge certain things I'm going through, and I know they're aware of me and they're aware of what I'm going through, and sometimes they. So I'm going to pull 9 cards for the Akash, from the Akash to alignment about the chakras energies. The chakras are energetic vortexes, centers that to clear up our chakras, we need to breathe, we need to circulate the light within, to use our consciousness to circulate the light, send the light down to the center of the earth, and then send it back to the great central sun above, and bring it back to the heart. And the more we activate this, we work through our breathing to breathe consciously as much as possible. On the roots, in the base, where the challenges are, is the angels. So the angels are the energies of grace. They are divine beings of light that are able to focus the energy of light. When we receive this energy of light, we diffuse it. We diffuse it as human beings, so we have to choose the angelic nature. From a Greek philosophy perspective, the humans do not have archetypes. They don't have an archetype. They have animalistic below, and they have the angelic above, and they have to choose voluntarily to align with the divine will of God. So call on your angels to assist you to bring all the wounded part of ourselves, or we all have those wounded parts, back into harmony, back into the light, back into the love. What we have on the navel, the chakras of harmonization, the sacral chakra, sexual chakra, the earth plane chakra is the good deed and the lessons. We have learned our lessons and we are vesting the good deeds. So it's like, I'm going to speak about life review. Also, on the solar plexus, which is our power center, we have the art. So we're radiating this creative potential. Art is the discovery of beauty, it's the expression of beauty, it's the manifestation. It is not beauty, but it is a form that expresses beauty, just as philosophy is a form that expresses goodness, and science is a form that expresses truth, or seek out truth. Truth, beauty, and goodness is really what we need to realize. Although only God knows truly truth, beauty, and goodness, we want to align with that God self. Once we fully realize that truth, beauty, and goodness will become one with our source, and this is the outcome of what we're seeking. In the heart is health. We are asked to let go of all those things that are still causing us suffering, and so we have to forgive ourselves if we have not always been in the most healthy mental, emotional, and physical state. But now we are asked to return to the naturalness of life, the most healthy state. The healing for the body will self-heal naturally when we stop interfering with this process. What we have in our communication, our throat chakra, is spirituality and religion. We have to follow the path of ascension, follow our heart, follow the divine light. For there is a divine light. This I am presence is like a beacon. It does not drive it, but it pilots, it guides us, it keeps us aligned with the path, the flow. What we see in our third eye, the sixth chakra, is transport. It's like being like a train for all the light workers. The victory of the light has been announced. It's like shouldn't be questioned. For we are the 144,000 ascended masters that have incarnated. No matter what we had to go through in order to realize that, we're pulling the whole of humanity, millions of people, into this light. For that's our mission. So it's about assuming the responsibility of being the leader of our tribe. We are leading our tribe. You are the leader of your tribe. And so assuming all the responsibilities of our life, also not to be in denial or to blame anybody else for our life. If we have to return to our own power, we need to allow ourselves to disconnect from any outer programming in order to find this sovereignty. Eventually, to be grounded, to find our throne, our seat of power within ourselves, our I am presence. And the crown, which is the higher chakra, is called the healer. It is about being the healer, to be able to bring wholeness into situation, to bring everything back into this alignment. On the Earth Star chakra, which is below our feet, that connects us to Mother Earth, here we have the monk or the monk or the nun. Which is a card basically of abnegation. It says to keep your energy together. It's either telling you to keep your energy together, to not disperse it, or it tells you that you have no longer need to because there were some vows that we made it maybe in the past life, or a celibacy of poverty. Those are no longer necessary. It's only necessary if you feel called to it, but it's not poverty will never be associated with divinity. It is once again, it is a false belief that you have to take care of others before you take care of yourself. First take care of yourself, then you can be generous and help other people. The same thing with this original sin. The Catholic have really there was a misleading because on the 7th century BC, the Council of Nice, they invented the original sin. They wanted to control the people and says Jesus is sacred, but everybody else is impure. They all belong to the devil, which is not true. This is just a way. So in order to get salvation, you have to go through the priest, and people are worshipping external gods in illusion, in fantasies, when they have the inner Christ, the presence of love. For Jesus knew that we're all sacred. He was just one, and he's a brother. He's a older brother, maybe. He's a guide, is the essence of that which is divine, man and God becoming one. But we all have this power, and even from his own word, he said, I have done great things, but greater things you will do. You will do even greater things that I have done. So he knew that we were all one. It's just there was some distortion at some point, historical, for political reason. This philosophy was detoured for political reasons. So we want to be free of all limitation. The only limitation we have is to follow our own guidance and inner heart, what feels good inside. And so I'm just giving you my own interpretation of those things. I'm not, but I do believe there is what I'm saying will reveal itself as wisdom down the road. For those things, there is value in this understanding of that which is the law of one, the law of truth, the law of beauty, goodness, and truth. And on the soul star, which is the future, it is a silver light. It's we can call on the great archangel Uriel to bringing his light of power and to help us circulate this silver light, so it fills up our whole aura, and so we become empowered with this silver light. And for the silver, the soul star is essentially silver, and it's like a silver light that we share with our higher self. We want to become our higher self, and here we have the Greco-Romans. It is this empowerment for the Greco-Romans, who are great, the divine, the gods of mythology, were very advanced beings. They were not more gods than you and I, but they all worked for the one. But they knew themselves. They knew they had superior powers to the mortals. They knew themselves as immortals. And right now, those powers are giving through astrology. The planets are giving us this power. If you tune into the planet, they will assist. In returning to your power. For the planets can have a negative aspect and positive aspects, such as Neptune can be bringing us into dream and addiction, but it is also here to liberate us from the addiction. If we know how to use it, when it is the time we elevate ourselves above all those lower conditioning, as we let go of all the attachments and all the past that we had. For Saturn also, I want to speak about Saturn. Saturn is a beautiful planet. I was invited to visit it, and so it was incredible. It was magnificent. I'm always looking forward to return. But Saturn is not it's not melancholic, it's not moody, it's like it has a job to do, it's a duty, it's where the karmic board reside. And so those on Saturn have declared that the company of heaven is going to be able to manifest to humanity more and more in the months and years to come. And so because God only rules over the higher planes, the upper planes of creation, and then he has created a spiritual hierarchy, beings equal to him, but our Lord, our celestial Lord that rules over the universe, and the beings of love and wisdom. And those beings of love and wisdom that rule over the universe on behalf of God will manifest more and more into the human consciousness. Also be open to telepathic messages. I don't know if you're communicating with your guides, your higher self, your creator through telepathy, but more and more, do not be surprised if telepathic messages come to you, or even through dreams. Write everything down. And so, also I will recommend you using words carefully, not hurt anybody with your words. So use your words for good, so that you can empower people rather than put them down. For a long time we've been using words have been very powerful, but they've always been very powerful. But it's like a train; they lock us into something. They can prevent us from discovering this magical holographic communication. But until then, we want to use words as much as possible, so to amuse people, to liberate to liberate tension, to give them their empowerment, to give them their power. For we all need to discover this collective messiah, this collective light. We all have to become connected to that. I also wanted to discuss very briefly. Did I read the cards? I'm not sure. Sorry. I'm gonna read a few cards with this my friend Assandra. She's a wonderful channeler, and she made this book on how to channel your spirit guides. It's on Amazon, I think. And there was the card with it. And the highest wisdom for us today is karma. Is how to bring this karma back into balance, to bring the law of unconditional love transcends the law of karma. Karma is just we do not want to create karma. We want to integrate, accept, and bring into balance, to forgive and all our past that it may be coming up, in order to integrate that. To understand what we need to understand is destiny. What is our destiny? Where our point of freedom, our highest passion lies. What we need to do is the paradigm shift, to move from fear into love, from exclusion into inclusion, from ignorance into lucidity. And the outcome is create. So all our thoughts are creative. When we attach emotion to it, then we create something. So it's not about being careful not to attach, to spend more than 10 seconds with negative thoughts and emotion. So we don't, when a negative thoughts or a heavy emotion comes in, just breathe it out. Do not give it power, and believing it is real. So we can start creating something that is far more empowering on all levels. The paintings behind me. This is a painting from 2006. It is a painting that's symbolistic of the 3 great pyramids of Egypt. And below those pyramids, there is the halls of Amenti, where the Akashis, where it's a transition type period, where it's an interdimensional reality, where beings are sent on the astral plane to transmute in between life. Because we don't have to die to do that, but everybody as mortals, we pass through one life, and then we have a time in between life, and then we return. And when we're in between life, we have no choice but to do a life review. It means we are being shown everything's been recorded in holographic matrix, and we are shown all of the circumstances of our life, and we are able to be informed in relationship and feel all the goods that we did, but also all the suffering we might have created through the experience of others that suffered or that enjoyed or that benefited from what we did, from our words, thoughts, words, and actions. And so I recommend you always to work no matter what the circumstances of life, or always try to do good, to be good to others, to be good to yourself first, and then to be good to others, because we don't know, sometimes what we do can serve, can have greater function than what we may believe at any given point. But and also in between those lives, we are able to reconnect to our soulmate, to our soul twins, and we have a time to, because sometimes we are able to meet our soul, ultimate soulmate, a beautiful relationship during this physical lifetime, but sometimes we are not. And so, but in between life, we have this time that is given. Once we are balanced, we have this life review, and then we're given a lot of vacation, and usually we use this time vacation because connecting with our ultimate soulmate is what brings us the greatest joy, the greatest pleasure. It is hopeful that for me, it's like sometimes Spirit is saying, that I have this relationship that's magical that is coming to me, and then they take it away. They tell me, I know it's like it's no longer available, and so I let go and try to do something else. You're betraying your soul plan, and like so it's bringing it back into harmony. So it is possible. I will come and the meeting of this great relationship on this physical plane. But if we don't, we always have time to do that on in between lives. But it is normal to seek out a complement for a true soulmate will bring balance into our life. It will bring empowerment. It will complement each other without having to be on. Usually, a true soulmate is something you know deeply without even having to say so much. You don't need much explanation to feel the connection, because it is someone whose light is fully in the same frequency than yours, and have the same soul plan as well. So there's this Halls of Amenti, and here it's a portrait of a master named Orlet. It is the master guide of thought. It's a ninth dimensional being that I'm looking forward to working more and more, because it's it's from the ninth dimension that all the divine plan for humanity are being formulated, from 8th and 9th dimension. And here is the symbol of paradise here, and the 21 satellite of paradise, the central universe. So it is about this eternal connection to this eternal reality that exists beyond change, beyond time, beyond space, that is always at the center of all things. Yet it remains a mystery until it is discovered. And even when we discover paradise, there is so much there that will never. It's difficult to believe that anyone but God will know. God already knows everything, but He will never reveal everything, for He has to keep eternal mystery throughout the eternal ages. For the plans of God are a great mystery. No matter what we know, we can always discover that there is more to it than what we believe. And so I hope this message was interesting for you. And I'm going to pull one more card and sing a song. And this is a painting that I painted. It's from 1990. It's one of my first original series on paper. I'm going to pull the last cards after the song. And it's in French, but it's a painting my father I had given to him, or he bought, I'm not really sure. And it's in French, but it says it's spiritual powers that the Buddha has realized. It says the 6 marvelous powers. The first one is clairvoyance, clairaudience, the knowledge of past existence, which is the total understanding of the Akash. The understanding of the power, the knowledge of everybody else's thoughts. For the Buddha, once he's been enlightened, he could see the thoughts and the karmic relation, the level of wisdom, and he can see, for thoughts are real things. Once we have our third eye open enough, we can decipher the thoughts and see that they all have forms, colors, and direction. And the more clear thoughts is, the sharper its form is, and then the emotion will give it a direction. For sometimes there are thoughts that are elevating towards the skies, those that are going deep in the earth, and so. But it's something that will happen progressively as we open our clairvoyance potential. We'll be able to discover this potential of seeing thoughts. The first is very funny. Just an anecdote. The first thought I ever saw, it was on TV. I was aware of that thoughts are real thing. It's just because they are from the non-being, they're invisible. And it was a thought on TV. It was the arrest I'm not really sure it's appropriate to say that, but it was to I'm just sharing. It was the time where there was a General Noriega was arrested and taken from Panama, and he was getting on the plane, and he was arrested, and I saw a really heavy black sword that was coming out of his head that fall into the earth. The first sword I ever saw. It was just an anecdote, but then I see my own swords now. I have a reflection. I'm starting to see swords from people and from myself, for we are all one. And so the knowledge of everybody else's thoughts, then the power to manifest in different sphere, in different place in the same time, the power of ubiquity. The Buddha were able to manifest himself we will discover this power to dematerialize, rematerialize, appear in many places. And then the destruction of all thoughts, for once in order to establish ourselves in lucidity and serenity, we have to integrate all the thoughts of the past and destroy them, bring them back into perfect alignment as a perfect lesson, and then we'll be able to ascend into the state of samadhi, the nirvana of being, the fifth dimension. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. Everything I'm saying is just relative. Just take whatever resonates with you. I'm gonna finish with this song. It's a song of somebody who's looking for his soulmate, but he feels like he's getting old, and it's called Heart of Gold. I want to live, I want to give. I've been a miner for a heart of gold. It's these expressions I never give that keeps me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old, keeps me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. I've been to Hollywood, I've been to Redwood, I crossed the ocean for a heart of gold. It's been in my mind, it's such a fine line that keeps me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old, keeps me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old, keeps me searching for a heart of gold. Keeps me searching and I'm getting old. Keeps me searching for a heart of gold. I've been a miner for a heart of gold. Really nice song from Neil Young, I believe. And for the last card, for those who stick till the end, well, thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. And I wish you a wonderful time for everything that is about to be changed, to be new. This between the solstice and the Lion's Gate in August 8th, there's all kinds of opportunity for portals to open. The card of the day is the 4 of Michael. The solution can come from meditation. Sleep more or take a break, vacation. Eliminate the stress within you. It's always a good advice. Here she's like dreaming. So it's about not allowing our emotion to overwhelm us, to be detached from anything that's negative, in order to find this rest, this peace of mind, to release the stress, to breathe deeply, for stress comes from carbon monoxide that is stuck within the bottom of our lungs. So right now I'm running because I'm liberating all kinds of toxin, but when I'm running I have all those dark thoughts that are coming up, but I'm still doing it because I know it's accelerate my purification process. So wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for everything, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.